Trades. Gooka. What are they good for? Absolutely nothing if you don't know who you're trading for. Welcome back to FantasyPros MLB. I am Chris Welsh, and I'm here to guide you on what and who to target in today's video, and not sing. Before we get to the video, check out FantasyPros Premium today. It's the most powerful tools in fantasy. We just completed the first month of the season, and guess what? The real work begins now. If you comment on this video, something nice, particularly maybe about my singing, you can have a chance to win a free upgrade on us. Subscribe and comment, and you're all set to win. Okay, let's get to the 5 players I am trading for now. First up is Pittsburgh Pirates outfielder Jack Suwinski. Jack is smoking hot. Over the last 2 weeks, though, he's done some serious damage. 5 homers, 5 stolen bases while hitting over 400. This is all since April 15th. Jack is one of the big reasons why the Pirates have been so good. What makes him tough is he really should be a player that was picked up and probably not traded. The positive is he is still under 50% owned on even CBS, which tends to be like the highest of ownership on players. So he actually might be available. So maybe this is kind of a pickup. But the other positive is he is still low enough of a name that an owner may feel that they're selling high. This could be true, but we're buying high because of what we see underneath it all. Top 10% in average EV. Top 1% of the league, X-Slug at 665. Top 3% WOBA at 443. And a 50% hard rate. That's a bunch of advanced stats goodness. Jack is driving the ball in the air, and he's got a low 30% ground ball rate, which shows the type of contact that he's making. Jack already has more stolen bases in 21 games. Add that to a walk percentage that's around 17%. It shows all the adjustments he's making as a hitter and the floor he provides even if he comes back down a little. Jack is a real 2020 threat for the season, and this is part of the buying high. Next up, Kansas City Royals first baseman Vinnie Pasquantino. How hot was Pasquantino during the draft season? The only thing that ever brought him down was actually BatX's projections, which were actually like a little tepid about him. But Pasquantino's 2023, it's been fine. He's hitting 260, though the average is quite a bit lower than most expectations of who he is as a hitter, and he's also got 5 homers. One standout frustration owners are going to have, he's got 8 total RBI in the month of April. Again, he's been just fine, but hasn't lived up to those top expectations yet. It looks like there's more to come out of Pasquantino, though. He's already pushed his ISO up to 220 from around 150 last year. Vinnie P has the 17th highest batting average to expected batting average positive differential in baseball with an XBA at 312. Vinny's raised his hard hit percentage now over 53%. That was sitting around 46 last year, and he's lowered his soft hit percentage to around only 7%. The only thing Vinny hasn't been doing, and probably leading to some of those struggles, is barreling the ball up, where that's currently sitting about 3% lower, but something a big contact hitter can fix with those hard hit numbers. The team context is important because part of those RBI struggles has got to do with opportunities. First base isn't the best, but he just hasn't played at a level that owners are going to have skyrocket prices on him. It looks like the best days are ahead here, and this is a chance to get in before they do. Coming up here, our third trade candidate, we're going to the pitching side. Detroit Tigers starting pitcher Eduardo Rodriguez. Eduardo on the year has a great 2.21 ERA and a career low 1.7 walk per 9. His K per 9 is low around 7.5, and he has a xFIP that's actually closer to 4. Those last two, those are not great. Since April 15th, though, has an over 9K per 9. He has an xFIP and a Sierra that are under 3. Eduardo, during that same time period, also has the 10th best K- walk percentage, which is 26.8%. So take away the walk percentage from his strikeouts, boom, there you go. He isn't an elite strikeout guy, but he just doesn't walk batters. Eduardo also has a higher whiff rate on both of his top 2 pitches, and with his cutter, it's almost doubled what it was last year on the whiff percentage. All of this is great, but we know this is a Tigers pitcher. But we have a very limited market of available pitchers on the trade market. Quite a few regular, quote, bad teams are contending, while a few stubborn contending teams are struggling. So this just kind of lowers the available arms if teams decide to get aggressive and try to make trades. You know, the Mariners, we saw, just lost Robbie Ray. The Tigers, they can make the argument that they're still in, but we kind of know that's probably going to fade. So this is speculation, but if it is the case, Eduardo would probably become one of the best available arms on the trade market. With more run support and defensive support, his value could double. It's a what if, and we don't want to base everything on a trade for us for a trade for him, but even if he doesn't move, he's been the best Tigers player to date, and he's got a pretty high floor. Shore up your rotation. Go check in on Eduardo Rodriguez. Number 2, Chicago Cubs outfielder Cody Bellinger. I didn't think I was going to say this one, but guess what? I was a big Bellinger believer last year. And guess what? Big L. This year, pretty much anything he did early on, I just didn't want to hear it. I was out, completely out. But some of the changes we're seeing with Bellinger this year, they have been missing for multiple seasons, kind of that extra little recipe for him to get right. The first and most obvious is his strikeout rate. The previous 2 seasons, Bellinger's hovered around 27-ish % K percentage with a low contact rate in the zone and a high outside zone swing rate. So, not making contact in the zone and swinging at more stuff outside. As would be expected in what I'm talking about here, this year, his zone contact rate is sitting at a career high. The outside zone swing percentage is the lowest since 2020, and his overall strikeout rate is the lowest since his MVP season. Bellinger finished April with 7 homers, stole 4 bases, and hit like just under 300. Boom. Now his XBA is about 30-ish 5 points lower than his current batting average, but that XBA, even though it's lower, is still 30 plus points higher than the previous 2 seasons. His WOBA currently is over 400, which is in the top 8th percentile of the league. You'd think the home hitting environment is what's playing a big role. Well, guess what? Bellinger only hitting 240 at home, hitting 360 on the road so far this year. What we care about, though, is that this isn't just like a high BABIP stat change thing. This is real, tangible approach changes. We're not looking at an MVP season again, but maybe we're going to get a 25-20 season, 25 homers, 20 stolen bases, with significant RBI and run totals. If that happens, Bellinger easily, even with like a 250 batting average, could become a top 3 round player, if not top 2 round player, easy. I'm going to guess he isn't going to even cost, though, half of that. I'm going to check in with owners on Cody Bellinger. And number 1 on the trade for, we're going to Seattle. Seattle Mariners starting pitcher Logan Gilbert. Gilbert has been sneaky good under many of our noses. 2022 Gilbert was fine, but unspectacular. 22% K percentage, over 2 walks per 9, and had like a mid-3 ERA. Those are good numbers. Those are fine. He was good, not great. This year, though he does have a 4.23 ERA, that is about the only blip, but it's a big enough blip to make him tradable for a lot of other people, because it looks like he's made some major strides everywhere else. He's using his fastball less, from 54% usage down to 45% usage. He added a split finger to take over for, what he lost there, and his K numbers are soaring. Both his split and his curveball now register 30+% whiff percentages, both those pitches, and those are not even his number 1. He jumped up to an overall 30% K percentage, which equals to around an 11 K per 9 and only a 4% walk rate. He has an expected ERA. This is kind of the big one. Everyone's going to focus on that 4.23 ERA. He has an expected ERA of 2.80 and almost 10% less hard hit percentage against from hitters. So Gilbert is quietly becoming more efficient and dominant. The big focus in Seattle is on the loss of Ray and how the Mariners are going to adjust. Gilbert is the guy to step up. His underlying stats read of a top 20 starting pitcher, but his price, kind of like with Bellinger, probably not even half that. We've speculated on some underperforming big names before on this channel, but this is a guy who's just missing the ERA and changing for the better everywhere else. I am buying Logan Gilbert. And that, my friends, is where I am in on the trade market. These, of course, don't speak to your needs necessarily, so use them accordingly. And let me know who you're trading for. Logan Gilbert, Cody Bellinger, Eduardo, Pasquantino, Suwinski. Who of that group have you got? Or did Did you make another move? What does it look like? Maybe you have some other great trade ideas for everybody, so comment in the video below so everybody can see what you got going on. If you do, and you're subscribed, you're going to be entered in to win a premium Fantasy Pros account. It's one of the best things you're going to find in the fantasy baseball industry. So do it now. You can find me on Twitter at IsItTheWelsh and hear Joe Pisapia and myself Monday through Friday right here on the Fantasy Pros MLB channel at noon Eastern. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll talk to you guys next time, friendos. Peace.